So then, it's a goodbye now to September and hello to October. And as you can probably tell, this is the first day of Diamond buses operating the Monday to Friday 88 service from Stourbridge to the Norton estate. As you know, the 88 does not operate on Saturdays and Sundays. So we are on our way to the Norton estate, and this is the first day of Diamond buses operating the service, taking over from the custom operator which used to run this route previously, which started on the 3rd of January 2023 and lasted for 9 months. And the custom operators 88 replaced the 10A and 10C routes, which were the Stourbridge circulars that were operated by National Express West Midlands from the Pensnet depot. And of course, the 10A and 10C replaced the 288, which went from Stourbridge to the Norton estate, basically what the 88 does today. And so this route is operated by Diamond buses from the Kidderminster depot, and of course Diamond Kidderminster even did it as the 288, but they never did the 10A and 10C because that was NXWM's route. But NXWM, when they took over the 288 and renumbered it the 10A and 10C, what they did was actually cut most of the route out. Like, the Norton estate was provided by their number 7 service, which is the Dudley to Wollaston Junction, and of course they cut out Stourbridge High Street, because however Stourbridge High Street was still provided by the 250 service and the 251 stopping outside Tesco's. But then the 250 started to stop by Tesco's back in 2020 up until 2022, and then the 250 stopped serving Tesco's and went back down the high street. And then the 250 and 251 were being axed, but then got replaced by the service 25 service in Stourbridge to Dudley. The 25 did go down the high street, but however it now bypasses the high street. And of course the 10A and 10C was also at risk of being withdrawn, but however it then went out for tender, and the custom operator took over the routes and numbered it the 88. And now Diamond have now returned to the route once again, and the 10A and 10C, instead of going over the Norton estate, they actually went past Mary Stevens Park, but however the 88 doesn't cover Mary Stevens Park compared to the 10A and 10C. So here we go, we're on our way now down towards the Norton estate. But first we're serving Stourbridge Junction station, and so anyway, there coming up now is the station. So we're now coming to the station at Stourbridge Junction. So this is Stourbridge Junction rail station, which is right here. So this is the station. So we're just going under the bridge, which is for the Stourbridge branch line, and of course the main train service, which is the Snow Hill lines. And the Snow Hill lines go from like Worcester towards Stratford and even to Solihull and Dorwich by Birmingham Snow Hill, and then calling at the next station, which is Birmingham Moor Street. And of course there's connections provided at Smethwick Galton Bridge for train services on the lower level for Wolverhampton and of course Birmingham New Street. And so here we go, we're now on our way towards the Norton estate on the service 88. So we're on our way to the Norton estate on the 88. So I just hope you enjoy the journey. So here we are at the roundabout, and of course we have followed the 142, but the 142 carries on straight to serve the Wollascote area, and now we're joining up with the number 7 route, and we will be following the 7 as far as the Foley Arms, and then the 7 will then turn left to go over towards Wollascote and Wynall. and then that will continue towards Lye, and then after Lye it will then continue onto the Merryhill shopping centre, then through the Salt Wells and into Dudley. But however, we will be turning right and we'll be crossing a roundabout where the 318 also crosses, which is the Stourbridge to Bromsgrove run. And that is still operated by the custom operator. So the operators you'll find in Stourbridge, you've got NXWM and Diamond, while the other two includes the custom operator and of course Select Bus Services. The custom operator runs the 318 to Bromsgrove, while Select run the 242 service to Kimver. And at Kimver, there is good connections if you go there on Thursdays, Tuesdays and Fridays, depending what time. The 580 service towards Kidderminster, which goes by Wolverley. And so that service goes by Wolverley. And at Halsowing, there's Diamond, NXWM and the custom operator. But anyway, we're on our way to the Norton estate on the 88. So here we are at the roundabout. So the 7 has now left us. That is going to continue to the Warnell estate while we're going round the roundabout. So we just crossed the 318 route and we're on our way towards the Norton estate. So we're on our way to the Norton estate on the 88 route. So the 288, which goes from Stourbridge to Norton, was also operated by Hanson's buses, because Diamond took over the 288 in September 2017, from when Diamond bought out Hanson's buses, and of course it was always operated by Dennis Stark buses, and of course Enviro200s, and of course 20524 was one of the buses that made appearance on the 288, which was the Enviro200, the 2009 plate, I believe. I know it's YX09 HZB, and that was, and so here we go. We're now on our way to Norton, and so it was always smaller buses that appeared on the 288, and of course there has been the big Dennis Stark, which was the ex-first one. And and of course this route was operated by IGO as well, and IGO used a Primo, and of course they used an Enviro200 and also an Optare Solo. So an Optare Solo also made appearance on the route as well, and of course Hanson's even did it many years back as well, because they used to use the old Mercedes minivans, the minibuses, and also Hanson's put Optare Solos on, and also Midland Rider did this service as well. Midland, D&G, D&G Midland did it, Choice Travel, but then that got branded as Arriva, and Arriva operated it from the Wensville depot. So there's been variety of different operators have done the 288 over the years, and even been on this corridor. And of course, First Midland Red used to do it years ago under Midland Red. If you remember, Midland Red used to do this service as well, so Midland Red used to run it. So there's been loads of different operators have made the appearance on this route. And so the 318 service, which is run by the custom operator, that has been operated by the custom operator since 2018, because before that the route was operated by Diamond buses, and Diamond did the service since 2017, taking over from Hanson's. And the custom operator, it happened on they took over the 318 from Diamond on the 2nd of September, and so it was the 2nd of September, also the same time with the Salmon and Dudley NXWM changes when they changed the 3-digit numbers to 2 and 1. For example, the number 7 used to be numbered the 276, the 8 used to be the X96, 6 was the 246, and the 17 was the old 257, and the 16 was the 256. And up at Merrihill, the 2s was the 222, the 18 was the 243, and also up Dudley, there was a lot of routes like the 120, the 121, and so on. Okay then, guys, here we go. We are now continuing on our journey on the 88. So there will be more and more exciting videos to come here on the channel, which is of course Joe's Bus Train Plane Lift Adventures. So here we go, we're on our way on the service 88. So we're going along on the 88 from Stourbridge towards Norton. So here we go. We're on our way towards Norton on the 88, so we're just going round these housing estate. As you know, there's a lot of housing estates to see on the 88, with it being the local service within Stourbridge, serving the local community. And so I just hope that you're enjoying the video. So shout out to Black Country Traveller. You should check out the route, the 88 from Stourbridge to Norton. It's a brilliant route, and of course with it serving Stourbridge High Street, and of course the Norton Estate, which is also served by the NXWM number 7 route. So here we go, we're now coming up to the Norton Road. So we'll be doing a POV version as far as the Greyhound, which was filmed on the 125 route, because as you probably know, the 125 does share most of the 88 route. And that's the Diamond service to Bridgnorth, which used to be known as Central Buses, and way before that it was Whittles, because Whittles did the 125 way before Central Buses took it over. And so here we go, we're now on the Norton Road up to the Greyhound. Okay then, here we are, we're now by the Greyhound on the 88, so we're coming towards the terminus, which is of course the Norton Estate. So I hope you enjoyed the journey all the way from Stourbridge, and please be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, which is of course Joe's Bus Train Plane Lift Adventures. So more exciting vlogs will be on the channel in the not too distant future. And so here we go, we are now coming, so we're now on our way to the Norton Estate. So we're on our way to the Norton Estate. So we're now on our way to the Norton Estate on the 88. So the 88 terminates at the Norton Estate, and once we get to the Norton Estate, that will then complete the journey on the 88. So we'll be completing the journey at Shenstone Avenue, where the 88 terminates. So the 88 terminates at Shenstone Avenue, and so the 88 will terminate at Shenstone Avenue, and so here we go. We are now at Shenstone Avenue. So we're now at Shenstone Avenue. Well, near Shenstone Avenue, because that is where the 88 service will terminate. So the 88 service terminates at Norton, Shenstone Avenue. So thank you for watching.